Right then, it's a quick walk around video. This is for a Honda CR-V 2-litre EX automatic. 2013 car with just 51,000 miles recorded. So a lovely low mileage one in fantastic condition. Finished in one of the best combinations of colour and interior you'll find on these cars. Twilight blue exterior with the light leather interior inside. Really lovely car this, and kept beautifully. Front of the car, lights and lenses are clear and intact. There's no cracks or condensation in them. Bonnet, can't see a stone chip of any note on there at all. Near side of the car, lovely and smooth in the panel work. No car parking dinks that jump out at me at all. Near side front alloy, one that generally takes all of the bashing and hardly a mark on it. And rear panels, absolutely beautiful. Near side rear, again, lovely condition. From on the back, very clean and tidy. It's got a real crispness about the car, which you wouldn't expect on a 10-year-old car. Kept very nicely. Offside rear, absolutely beautiful there. Just carrying on down the offside, incredibly clean in the panels. Offside rear alloy, absolutely unmarked there. And the main panel works absolutely beautiful in the car. But externally, it's in beautiful condition, this car. Coming to the back of the car now, enormous boots, and this has been kept absolutely beautifully back here. Carpeted area underneath, looks like new, because obviously the load liner fitted has protected it throughout its life. It's coming into the back, wide opening rear doors. It's simply amazing amounts of legroom in the back here. And here you get to see this gorgeous interior. CR-Vs are family cars. Generally the backs are very heavily used. It's nothing to do with build quality, it's just where the kids sit. Yet this one looks as though it's hardly ever had people sat in the back. It's in beautiful condition back here. Let's come to the front on the passenger side. Again, lovely and clean. Full set of original Honda mats there. And passenger seat in super condition. Finally come to the driver's door card, which again just looks incredibly clean. Footwell areas likewise, and the driver's seat for a 10-year-old car is incredibly clean as well. So inside the car now, as always, I have the engine running, so the dashboard can be seen illuminated, which to all intents and purposes looks like new. It's incredibly clean in here. Sat nav, see working perfectly. Just pop the car into reverse, you can see the reverse parking camera again working exactly as intended. The video just doesn't do justice to the interior of this car. Just to quickly show you, dashboard binnacle, 51,589 miles, and there are no warning lights on the dashboard at all. Finally, just show you owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. Right then, it's a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2-litre EX automatic. Car's registered YM13JZR with a mileage of just 51,589 recorded. The reason for all of our videos, and especially this bit, is to ensure that if anyone's online looking at our cars, they get to see the very car advertised actually in operation. And the reason is that like loads of people have been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in photographs or description, but only to get there and find out, unfortunately, there's a fault that shows up and it's obvious when you drive the car. So hence that's why we do it. We also do it on these lovely quiet country roads. It's a very pleasant part of Gloucestershire. This actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on. The hope is then it'll be representative of what you feel yourself should you ever test driving the car. So coming to the car, it's an absolutely fabulous car, this one. If you don't want to sit for about 9 minutes or so, turn off, because I can't fault it, it drives absolutely beautifully. But to go through all things I always do, push button start on this model, engine starts instantly, settles just smooth, even idle. No warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. And temperature gauge is running as a third, which is exactly where it's supposed to be on a Honda vehicle. Honda, without doubt, build the best four-cylinder engines in the world, and they have done for decades. This is a classic example of why. These are highly regarded, basically the most reliable, long-lasting engines in their class. They're can chain driven, so you have lots of huge bill waiting for you in servicing. But more than that, it's just a lovely, lovely engine to drive day in, day out. It's quiet, it's smooth. When you do rev it, it's got a sweet, sophisticated sound to the engine. It doesn't get coarse, which you get with so many engines as soon as you press them. It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And the same goes for the gearbox. The reputation for gearboxes again, very, very tough boxes in these cars. Very slick shifting, all the gear changes, nice and smooth on the move. The ratio is obviously selected to try and maximise the engine both in terms of fuel economy and performance. And they've done a very fine job of it, to be honest with you. You can also, by the way, use the gearbox manually. You don't have to select anything, you just basically got two paddles, right hand one goes up the gearbox, left hand one goes down. I have used it, rarely, I have to be honest with you. Only really if I'm doing an overtaking manoeuvre and I feel as though I want to control when the gearbox is going to change up. So if you want to sort of zip by a track or something slow moving, then it's quite handy for that, I guess. It's all functioning perfectly. Notwithstanding reputation, you should always do the same check on any gearbox, especially sort of hot and cold. When it's stationary, when it selects drive or reverse from neutral, just make sure it doesn't set the great clunk, and it doesn't, of course. And all the gear changes again, as with this one, should be very smooth on the move. Steering on the car, track's absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the limit. And a really lovely setup for the power steering. It's light but doesn't feel vague or lifeless. It's accurate and precise. It's beautifully suited to the car. Never allows the car to feel nervous at all. It just feels solid. The whole car feels incredibly solid. When you turn in there, hardly any movement of the steering wheel. Very little body motion. And this is where the suspension of the car is brilliant in these cars. Completely missed by the motor press because they think all cars should be able to slide around and that kind of thing. But this isn't that kind of car, and it does absolutely brilliantly. So going through corners, you don't get the lots of roll and pitch and wallow that you get with a lot of its competitors. It feels really tight and relatively nimble, but it still allows it to have this very compliant ride, which deals with pretty much all the road surfaces very, very well indeed. And that's a really hard thing to achieve. It's also probably why the CR-V has been for many years best-selling SUV in the world, because it is brilliant. Incidentally, absolutely no rattles or clunks coming from under the car. This road surface here is like the surface of the moon, so it won't pick up on anything. But as I said, the car just feels ludicrously tight on the road, given the age of the car. Brakes in the car, again, absolutely fantastic. There's no pulsing or vibrations going back through the brake pedals, so all in fine order. This chap's going to go by. Yeah, that's good. Should use the pedal, shouldn't I? There we are. But anyway, so yeah, all these things are going to be checked, by the way, because it's going to be heading off for an MOT, which is, as always, done independently of us. And then we come inside, and what a fantastic interior this is. First and foremost, videos can never get across build quality, and these are beautifully put together cars. No squeaks, no rattles, 10 years old, and looking around inside, I said, whoever's had it's kept it just beautifully. I love this interior, always have done, and I know not everybody does, so if you don't like light leathers, it wouldn't be for you, but I think the advantages of light leather, and I've had both. I've got black leather in my wife's car currently, which just because I had to buy the car. What I love about it is on duller days like today, it just brightens up the interior, but it doesn't look garish. And sometimes the video and the pictures can make it look brighter than it is, because it's very tastefully done. Also on very hot days, you don't get that blistering heat inside the car that you get from black interiors. You don't burn the back of your seats, but again on winter days know, black interiors can seem so sort of, you know, overwhelmingly black at times and dark. But this is lovely, and as I say, it's been kept beautifully. Dash layout is, as you'd expect for Honda, very logical, very well laid out, all functioning perfectly. Big screen sat nav there, again, functioning exactly as it should. Dual zone climate control system, so you're going to have different temperatures side to side if you so wish. Pumping out absolutely ice cold air, so all working perfectly. Again, my video can't show you, but trust me, it's just the details of Hondas, which is why we love them. When you turn something, you get a substantial kind of rubbery, precise action. Every button you press is beautifully damped. It feels very high quality, which it is. No sort of sharp, nasty click actions to get anything. It's really nicely done. And then your dash binnacle in front. Again, simplicity is always best. It's beautifully detailed. You look at the dash, you get the information, look back at the road. I mean, that's what Honda Japanese do very, very well. They don't overcomplicate, generally speaking. And then you've got this lovely leather-bound steering wheel, which is quite small down, so it feels quite sort of sporty to hold relatively. This is a four-wheel drive CRV, all of them are, but there are no buttons. You don't activate it; it does it all for you. Again, Honda, when they launched the original one back in the mid-90s, worked out very quickly that most people would do what I am doing right now, which is driving in perfectly good condition. You don't need four-wheel drive on. Only if it needs to go into full drive will it do so itself. The advantages are obvious, because it's going to run in two-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, pretty much the whole time, so that's the most efficient way to put a car along. So you get through your tyres less quickly, use less fuel, and put far less mechanical stress to the car than running permanently. It is a brilliant system and works incredibly effectively. You know, we tow a caravan with ours, we never ever come close to getting stuck with one. And they are robust, really robust systems, mostly because they're not used very much. You know, we've been selling these for decades, literally thousands of them, and we've not so much as put a spanner memory on any of them over those years. And as I said at the start of the video, I can't fault it. It is a horrible used car cliche, but it literally feels like it drives like new. It feels that tight.